This is not a professional quality baking video. Spills happened, messes were made, but we ended up with some fun memories and delicious sprinkle sugar cookies. So Merry Christmas, and let's get started. This recipe makes 2 dozen standard sized cookies, and all the ingredients can also be found in the video description below. Step 1. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And before you judge me, I was not making cookies with the kids at 3:16 a.m. The clock is not accurate. Next, prepare your baking sheets with parchment paper. For step 2, we're going to start with dry ingredients. These include 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is an easy step for the kids to help out with. Begin by adding in the 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour first. Then add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Next add in the 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And finally add in the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Our 2-year-old actually added in the salt and she did a great job. Once those dry ingredients have all been added in, it's time to whisk everything together. And everyone can help with this part. Alright, it took a little bit, but we're ready for the next step. For this third step, we're going to need 2 sticks of unsalted butter softened and 1 1/2 cups of granulated sugar. Grab a medium or large mixing bowl and add in the softened butter first. Then add in the 1 1/2 cups of granulated sugar. The kids actually did a great job with this step and didn't make a huge mess. They did better than I would have. Then use a handheld or KitchenAid stand mixer to cream everything together. After a couple minutes, it's all creamed together and we're ready for step number 4. For this step, we'll need 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I knew I was tempting fate, but I wanted the kids to help with this step as well. Add the egg to the cream butter and sugar. So far, so good. Next, add in the teaspoon of vanilla extract. As you can see, a majority of it did not make it into the mixing bowl. But it's okay, we ended up cleaning up the mess and adding in the rest of the extract that we needed. Then we mixed everything together for a couple minutes. A couple minutes later, it looked like this and we were ready for step number 5. For step 5, we'll need the dry ingredients from step number 2 plus 1/4 cup of milk. You might not want little kids to do this step because it's a little bit harder. Carefully add the dry ingredients to the mixing bowl. Go slow so you can alternate with the 1/4 cup of milk. And then mix everything together until it's fully combined. We had to mix for a couple minutes to make sure that the dough was consistent. Alright, everything's looking good and we're ready for step number 6. Things got a little bit chaotic for us for this step, but the actual step is very simple. All you need to do is to roll the dough into 1-inch balls. Trying to explain that to kids did not work, so we ended up with balls of different sizes. But it's okay because we had quality control on the backside to make sure everything turned out right. And once the dough balls have been rolled, we're ready for the next step, Sprinkle Fest. For this step, just add your chosen sprinkles to a shallow dish. Then just roll the dough ball in the sprinkles until they're evenly coated. The important words are evenly coated. This step was complete chaos for us, so the dough balls were not evenly coated. But the kids had a great time with this step. And if it looked good enough for them, it looked good enough for me. Alright, for some reason I had a bunch of video of this step, but I think you've gotten the idea. After the sprinkles have been added, we're ready to bake. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. While the cookies are baking, it's time for our fun goose fact. Did you know that no nation has a goose as its national bird? But Hawaii has the Hawaiian goose, or nini, as its state bird. And now back to the cookies. After the cookies are done baking for 8 to 10 minutes and the edges are golden brown, they're ready to be carefully removed from the oven. While the cookies are cooling, check out some custom holiday artwork that my kids made. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed this unique video and the professional artwork. We're a small channel, so it really does mean a lot, and apparently Frosty is thanking you in advance. When the cookies have cooled for around 5 minutes, they're ready to enjoy. I felt like this video was a great display of the holiday season. Things got chaotic, and not everything went as planned, but we rolled with it and had such a fun time in the process. It wasn't perfect, but the cookies tasted great and were a huge hit. We can't wait to make these again as a family next year. Now that we've finished this Christmas sprinkle sugar cookie recipe, you need to check out another holiday favorite, our simple oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. See you there!